Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back. My name's Will. This is the Wimya YouTube channel. You already know I gotta hit you with a quick sales pitch. Like, comment, subscribe. Those three things are always really appreciated. Product links are going to be down in the description below, as well as my Amazon storefront. So if you want to check out all the parts I've used on my S650, on my Ram TRX, on my Bronco, on any of the other vehicles that I've showcased on the channel, go ahead, check out that storefront. I get a little commission kickback for that, so if you want to support me and pick up some rad parts, go ahead, check that out. So once again, we are talking about my S650, and if you can believe it or not, we've already had this part installed on the Mustang for over a year. What I'm referring to, obviously by the title, is the cheap Amazon front splitter, front lip, whatever you want to call it, for the S650 Mustang. Gotten a bunch of messages and comments and all sorts of things from people that were looking at this lip, that were super curious how it's held up over time. There were a few people that made posts about this saying that it was really poor quality and that it warped or it fell off, and I'll get into all of that, why I think mine held up so well. But I'm going to turn you guys around now, show you the splitter I'm referring to, and then we can get into the nitty-gritty. So if you're not too familiar with my car, here it is, my 2024 Mustang GT 301A base model. It has quite a bit of work done to it at this point. VMP stage 3 supercharger, making around 800 to the wheels, so it's pretty rowdy. Got some really sweet wheels on it, and then got a bunch of carbon fiber accessories, stuff like that. So all product links are going to be down in the description below. If you see anything on here that you want to pick up for your own Mustang, you know, go ahead, check out that storefront. But what we're talking about today is this bad boy right up here. And this is the old infamous cheap Amazon front splitter. These things, you can pick them up for sub $150. I think they're currently for $115 on Amazon. And a lot of people, when they first started seeing these, because there wasn't a lot of parts yet for the S650 Mustang, so anything that became available, people kind of jumped all over, and these things were sold out for quite a while. So over a year ago now, at this point, since this has been on my car for a year, I was able to pick up one of these, made a install video. I'll link that video right up here so you can go check that out. But did an install video on this, posted it. When I posted it, there was quite a few people that commented saying that, you know, they weren't thrilled with the quality, and over time the actual lip started to kind of warp and sag and all of that, and then they weren't thrilled with it. So here's my opinion on it. It's a three-piece construction, so I believe it's a three-piece construction so they can save money on shipping, because if it was one solid piece, shipping would be like 5 times the price as what it would be if it was broken up into 3 pieces and shipped like that. So you can see the little seam right there, as well as this seam right there. It all interconnects underneath, so you bolt it all together and then it bolts up onto the car. This is actually a splitter intended for the EcoBoost Mustang, but as you can see, it fits perfectly fine on the GT. The only Mustang you won't be able to or trim at this point is the Dark Horse, and as well, obviously, the Super Snake, because that's just a completely different front bumper design altogether. But EcoBoost GT, you'll be able to run this front splitter, like I said, around $115, so it is substantially cheaper than any of the other front splitters on the market. And like I've said, I've had this on my car for over a year now. Car that's making 800 wheel horsepower that, trust me, I romp on it every day, and as you can see, no warping, no sagging, nothing like that. And I think that is all due to the fact that I installed this the way the instructions intended it to be installed. For some reason, some people really don't want to drill into their bumper or their splitter, basically. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So you can see right here that that's the front, or the stock little kind of chin splitter that comes on your Mustang. So you don't remove that. So all you do is you unback the bolts underneath here, and again, you can go and watch my installation video for a full detailed explanation on the install. But you back out all the bolts where this little chin splitter is attached to the front bumper, and then you connect it using those bolts all throughout the front of the splitter. But then they also give you, I don't want to say like self-tappers, but for lack of better words, like self-tapping screws, and you drill this splitter into this splitter underneath, so you don't see anything anywhere, basically everywhere in between where those stock bolts are. So as you can see, it is super solid. Like, that's not going anywhere. And that's because I use those self tappers. And a lot of people, for some reason, don't want to, you know, use the self tappers and install it that way. I'm not really sure why, because it's not like you see any screws anywhere. They're underneath the splitter, but they don't like to do that. And I've gotten a bunch of questions. Oh, can I use 3M tape, or can I just use the stock bolts on there and not use the self tappers? Well, I mean, it seems like the people that have gone that route have lost their splitter, or it started to warp and this, that, the other. So I don't recommend doing so. You guys can do whatever you want. I installed it the intended way. I followed the manufacturer's instructions, and over a year I've had no issues whatsoever. Only one thing I want to point out, because it's kind of visible, is I have a scratch right there. And if you can remember, or you've been with the channel for a while, all of this, all my work, like bench and storage and all that, used to be along that wall over there. So one day, it was literally like 2 or 3 days after I installed this, I pulled up a little bit too far and it got caught right underneath there and it scraped it. But other than that, no damage whatsoever. And yeah, I think for the $120, I really don't think you can beat it. This is the unpainted option. There's a bunch of other options as well. There's a gloss black, I think there's even a gloss silver or a gloss white, and there's like a faux carbon fiber finish as well. I liked the unpainted because it also matches with this portion right here. So if you don't look really into it, it kind of just looks like it's one cohesive piece. And it also matches with the factory side skirt and the RTR side rocker extension that I do have on there as well. So I like the unpainted version, but if you wanted a gloss black or a carbon fiber look one, they also have those available. So yeah, like I was saying, I think for the price, it's really, really hard to beat. And I kind of just wanted to give you guys an update on it because like I said, I've been getting a bunch of comments on it. I got a bunch of comments over time, and I actually even got a comment today right before I decided to film this. And I was like, you know what, I'm finally just gonna make an update video. So here it is, guys. Not really anything, you know, crazy today. Just thought I'd, you know, kind of share my insight and my firsthand experience with this splitter. So yeah, like I said, if you want to pick up one of these, product links are going to be down in the description, so go check them out. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Quick video, just wanted to share a little bit of insight, some firsthand experience. So I always like to be totally transparent with you guys. So if this was a crappy product, we'd be having a totally different video today, and you wouldn't have seen it last on my Mustang for so long. But this is a product I stand behind, so if you're on the fence about picking up one of these, do it. I totally support them. So like I said a bunch of times at this point, product links are going to be down in the description. But as always, guys, my name's Will. Thanks for chilling with me today, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.